Good evening and welcome to In Focus Live Candidate Forums. I'm Melissa Vance with the Wayne County Area Chamber of Commerce, and I am pleased to be your host for this evening, sitting in for my friend Eric Marsh, who typically runs this show on Thursday evenings. As you probably are aware, watching tonight, we are heading into the primary season for elections, and we like to bring quality information to you so you can make an informed decision when you're going to the polls. So tonight we will kick it off and have great conversation with our candidates for county clerk and then for county treasurer. And then in the coming weeks, we have other things lined up for you. We do this in conjunction with, as I mentioned, our partners here at WCTV and also Western Wayne News, and the Wayne County Area Chamber of Commerce is pleased to be a partner with them. Coming up in the next weeks, I want to make sure you mark your calendars. Next week, we will be here at the same time, 6 p.m., and we will be talking to the candidates for Wayne Superior Court 1. And my friend Paul Whitty from First Bank Richmond will be hosting that night and lead the conversation. And then we will have a discussion about the National Civics Bee, which is coming to Wayne County. We are the host for our region, and we'll be talking about that soon. The next week, we will move into discussions with the candidates for Wayne County Commissioner, District 2, and then Wayne County Coroner. That one will be a 90-minute show, so make sure if you're setting your DVR, you set it for a full 90 minutes. It will be a great conversation. Then the following week, on the 18th, we will be here with U.S. Representative District 6 candidates, and we have another host stepping in. Tony Foster will be hosting that evening. And then the following week, we are off a week, and then we hit the election night on May 7th at 6 p.m. We will be live from Whitewater Valley, of course, from Whitewater Hall here on the IU East campus. We'll be in the lobby. And if you want to come out and see what the action's about that evening, you're welcome to join us. Jeff Carter from Bethany Theological Seminary will be taking my usual spot and joining Eric Marsh and leading conversations through that evening and keeping you up to date with all of the results as they come in. Now, I want to remind you of just a couple things. If you have not yet registered, there is still time. The cutoff to register to vote is April 8th, and you can do that online at indianavoters.com, indianavoters.in.gov. Either one of those work, .com or .in.gov. If you haven't registered yet, please register to vote, exercise your right, and have a voice in this election. It's very important. Then lastly, before we get started, I want to mention something that the Chamber is doing. We are going to be hosting on April 11th a hiring fair for graduates that are about to leave high school and head into the workforce. Maybe they're not quite ready to go to college or to a technical school and they're looking for a job. We're hosting a hiring fair for them. But the last 2 hours of that day, we are opening it up for the general public. So if you are interested in seeing what types of positions are available here in Wayne County, please come out to the fairgrounds in the Coleman Center and join us. From 2 to 4, we'll be doing interviewing with about 25 to 30 different businesses will be there that day interviewing and hiring. So make sure you stop out and see us. With that, we are going to move to the discussion of the hour and start off with our candidates for Wayne County Clerk of Courts. I am joined with Tara Pegg Hi, Tara. Thank you for joining us. And also Melanie Vaughn. Both have elected to put their names on the ballot, and we're going to find out a little bit why. So, Tara, why don't you tell everyone a little bit about yourself and why you chose to run for this office?
Okay. Thank you. I would first like to thank WCTV for hosting this event tonight. I have decided, I'm from Randolph County. I grew up in Randolph County. My mom is from Wayne County, and so Wayne County has always had a special place in my heart and always will have. I decided to run because I have 18 years of experience, 14 years of being supervisor of voter registration office. I also have been the president and vice president of Indiana Voter Registration Association for the last, and that's over 92 counties. So that's what
Great. Well, thank you. And Melanie, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I am married. I have 3 children, and I've always been in Wayne County all my life. And I was a graduate of Richmond High School. I've been had a business in Wayne County with my husband for about 25 years, and then I moved I worked at Miami University, and while I was there, I took classes part-time, and it took me 7.5 years, but I graduated with honors with a bachelor in business administration and organizational leadership.
Wonderful.
And a minoring in accounting. From there, then I am actually the chief deputy in the clerk's office, so I am Debbie's right hand, and I'm also the bookkeeper in the clerk's office. So why I decided to run is the clerk's office is huge, actually, and with 23 employees, and we are like a hub of what needs to be taken care of in Wayne County government. And I have the skills and knowledge and experience to be able to make a smooth transition from Clerk Barry when she retires, and I would be ready to start on day 1. So.
Wonderful. Well, you both somewhat already answered this question, but I'm going to give you a chance just to elaborate if you choose to. Talk about the responsibilities of this position and how your qualifications line up with these responsibilities. Melanie, I'm going to let you start this time. Okay.
Well, as I am clerk deputy right now, chief deputy, I'm sorry, I actually work hand in hand with Debbie, and so I'm actually learning the things on a daily basis, and I already know like the state reports that need to go in, the monthly reports. I actually send them to the state and to the county, and then the other things, not just only like overseeing of employees, because in our business that we used to have, we had over 20 employees, so I'm used to human resources and knowing what needs to be done there, and just the financial end of it. I work with like $7.5 million, and that's important to make sure that Wayne County is taken care of in that.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Tara, what about you?
Can you repeat the question?
Talk about what some of the responsibilities are of this particular role and how your qualifications align with those.
A big part of it is elections, and I'm over elections, so it takes a lot of work to prepare for the elections and have everything ready and ready and set. And it takes a lot, and it's very important for the voters to have time, and we need to take good care of them and the employees and the office, and communication. We need good communication and the basics in the office.
Great, absolutely. So, talking about the voting process, talk about the mail-in voting process, as it seems to be a current concern across our country, And how might you see this process changing, particularly, based on who is elected for governor or president, because both of those are up for election this year, and we know that sometimes things change along the way, but talk a little bit about what that looks like moving forward.
Well, in IVRA last year, we had a state, from the state police officer come and teach us some about the signatures and preparing. So with the mail, we have to look over the voters' signatures on that envelope. So that is one way we're in training, preparing for that, and we're keeping the ballots secure and well protective and everything.
Great. Melanie?
What's the question again?
Tell us a little bit about the mail-in voting process, and do you see that process changing at all in the coming years, sometimes based on who's elected at the state level, or just based on anything that's projected down the pike?
As far as the mail-in ballots, absentees, there's a process to take care of. And so I wouldn't see, we always keep up with the law and how it's taken care of.
Sure.
That should be
consistent.
Yeah, we just stay with what the state says. Right.
Great. We are live at Whitewater Community Television. This is In Focus, and we want to make you aware that if you have a question, feel free to send those in. You can send those in on Facebook, and we would love to hear what you have to say, and we will pose those questions. But while we're waiting on that, we will move on with a few more. Both of you are running as representative of your party. How does your party's views affect the role that you play as clerk, or does it?
That's for me.
Yeah,
first,
we'll
okay.
let you start, Melanie.
The role of the party, really, I don't know. I am more to be serving the community is what I'm for. The courts, the court system, that is, it's really not really party related in my case. I'm running for the community and for the court system, and to make sure that the vital role of everything that we work with, we're like a hub to the whole judicial system between the law enforcement and the prosecutor and all the other government entities. And it's a lot in a daily, we touch a lot more, and I don't know that a lot of people understand how much the clerk actually does do. All the, where we reach out to it.
What about you, Tara?
That's a good question.
With running as a representative of the Republican Party, how does that affect your role as clerk, or does it?
That's a good question. In voter registration, you have to work with both parties. It is a bipartisan situation, so we have to have good communication with both parties, and it's very important. And in the office, we have to work with council, commissioners, and the judges. So we have to get along with both parties. It's very important.
Great. We do have a question from a viewer, so we are going to put that up on the screen, and both of you should be able to see that. What is the role of the clerk as it pertains to child support and communication with the court? Melanie, you started to mention this a little bit earlier, so I will let you go first.
The role of the clerk, we take in the child support payments and whatever is taken, but there's 4D and non-4D, different types of cases, which child support is downstairs. And there is 4D court where the parents, as far as in, figuring out what in any kind of situation, we have to take the documents and everything to take in and make these cases in the system. I mean, I use like 8 different kinds of software for the role I play. And it's just important that we get all that, but we take the child support on ISETs, and actually this next year will be huge for child support because there's an INVEST program. The state of Indiana is rolling out a new program for INVEST, and it will be huge because it's the whole state of Indiana. So that will take a lot of training on that too.
Sure. Tara, anything to add in regard to the role of the clerk as it pertains to child support and communication with the court?
We have a really good team that takes care of the child support, and we can all work together and do the training. To Melanie, with the new system coming out next year, I heard that it is a pilot program, so we'll see how that all turns out in the state.
So just as a follow-up, will they be rolling that out to one county first and trying it and then moving forward, or do all 92 counties get that? Do either of you know?
It was a pilot it was already used as a pilot.
Oh, okay.
And then 2 counties was actually using it all this last year. And they found a little bit of problems with it. So then they've put those back to, what's it called? ISETs. That's what we use now as
yes.
ISETs. We have INVEST, ISETs, but ISETs, they're back on there. So they're doing dual systems right now, but then they're planning to get it all together back for INVEST, hopefully in 2025.
It's a really good segue to another question that we had. Communities often strive to be the leading end of technology and growth. What would you and your office do to foster a growth mindset in your day-to-day work?
We would grow by doing training, working with CISA, and with our programs at state and state board accounts and stuff, and the court systems.
Okay.
Can you repeat the question, please?
Communities often strive to be on the leading end of technology and growth. How would you and your office foster a growth mindset in your day-to-day work?
Well, what I intend to do, what I see with the new employees coming in, I want to make standard operating procedures for the organization, for each area. And so, because a lot of times we have some turnover, and then that way, when the new employees come in, information may go out the door. We want to make sure that they're up to speed, and I think it'll make a smoother transition into our system to learn how we work.
Excellent. Well, we do have another question from a viewer. We appreciate our viewers chiming in today. It makes a more lively discussion, so we will put that up on the screen. What types of services other than elections does the clerk do, and who do they serve? So I know we've talked about that a little bit, but Melanie, I'm going to let you start on this one.
What do we do? Oh my goodness. Listen, marriages, tax warrants, child support, divorces, civil and criminal cases. We do estates, guardianships, mental health, traffic tickets, criminal misdemeanors, juvenile. That's what we do on a day-to-day. And so, like I said, we're busy, and that's so you can see how
yes.
that we serve the courts, we serve all the attorneys, and financial institutions. I mean, there's a lot coming in and going out all day long.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Tara, anything to add to that?
We hold meetings with the trustees for record keeping, and we also have meetings with, we work with the poll workers, and also we work with the election board. So and the judges and attorneys. And we work with a lot of people, Secretary of State, State Board of Accounts.
Sure.
This is a big job and a lot of communications with a lot of services.
How would each of you hope to improve efficiency and communication that comes from your office? Would you want to start that off, Tara?
What was the question again? Sorry.
How would you improve efficiency in your office and communication from your office?
I would want to bring back basic communication. When I started, you know, the judges was in the office a lot, and I just want the community and the judges and attorneys and voters to feel welcome in the office. And the employees, I want them to feel welcome to come to work.
Thank you. Melanie,
Read the question for me again, please.
how would you improve efficiencies in the office and communication from the office?
Okay, like I mentioned before, I wanted standard operating procedures for each one, so that would help cross-train people when they're off, or if, you know, we're overloaded with a bunch of, you know, sometimes there's a lot of people coming in paying child support, or we have marriage license people, you know, there's phone calls coming in all the time. So that way we can cross-train better, so then we can have more clerks that are, you know, deputy clerks that are ready to serve. And but the onboarding part, I think, would help make that a little bit more, streamline it a whole lot better as far as the training is concerned. And it would make that employee be up and ready to start, you know, being able to contribute a whole lot quicker, you know, because when we, you know, somebody gives their notice, well, they have a 2-week notice, well, it doesn't get posted, and so that desk is empty, where the other ones have to, like, try to cover it until we can hire somebody in. So there's that. I'm trying to look at things like that, and then to improve our forms and update those, and to get those more for, you know, accessibility.
Sure. So back to the voting process, because that seems to be a continual hot topic, especially during the election time, of course. Can you talk a little bit about the security and the voting in Wayne County specifically? And can the machines be manipulated, or are they secure? I'm going to let you start this one, Melanie.
Okay. So as far as the machines, they would be secure. We got some new equipment. I mean, it's under security, cameras and things like that. So it should be, everything's just fine. We're not having problems with that as far as, but it would be fine. But as far as the elections, elections are, like at this time, it is important, and it's at top of mind right now. But as for me, I am not involved in the elections as much, but I am actually registered for the new certification class that'll be coming out, because we won't have an election next year, the first year of clerk. So I will have my certification by the time I would need to be running an election.
Sure.
So I've got that covered.
Absolutely. Tara, you want to talk about the security with the election process here in Wayne County, and how our voters might feel secure going to the booth?
The election equipment is not attached. I mean, it's not connected to the internet. We keep it in, it's a locked room. It's well taken care of and protected in our room. We keep everything in the files like it's supposed to. In the back of my mind, we're always thinking, if there's a recount or something, we want everything to be prepared and ready. And we want the voters to feel comfortable. And our election equipment, I've worked with 3 different systems. And, you know, the vote is recorded on that equipment, and it's very safe. We have the paper backup and we have it saved on the system. So I highly feel safe with our process in Wayne County.
Excellent. Well, our time is coming to a close already.
Wow.
So it's gone very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Want to give you both a chance just to say some closing remarks. You know, why, as people are making a decision to go to the polls and cast their vote, why should they consider voting for each of you? And anything else that you want to add in. So, Tara, I will let you start us off with the closing remarks.
Okay. For me, I have 18 years of experience in this office. I know the job, and I believe I can do the job and bring a good team to this office. And I know I can handle the elections. If you vote for me, the first day I'm ready to go and do what I have to do. I have my certification from SEATS. I got that in 2020, so I have that security. And also I've been in the party, the vice chairman of the party for 11 years. I have the experience. I have the 18 years of experience. And I'd appreciate your vote.
Great, thank you, Tara. Melanie?
Okay. I would just say, as Chief Deputy, I am in charge of the office at the time when Debbie is gone. I have a strong understanding of the financial situation, which I work with. I've worked with counsel on that before. I have no problem with State Board of Accounts. When they come, I'm ready. But the office, the clerk's office, we have 23 employees in 3 offices. And the day-to-day is what the clerk takes care of. There are elections. There's 3 elections in the 4-year term, but elections happen twice a year. The other stuff on the day-to-day is what we work with through the court systems, and that's imperative, and it helps serve the community. And it's important to have somebody that's skilled, knowledgeable, and ready to serve, because I'd be able to do that on day one. And I would appreciate your vote. Vote on.
Absolutely. Well, thank you both for being here, and again for being willing to run and for the work that you already do. We appreciate that from both of you. We are going to take a short break. Again, I'm Melissa Vance. I'm with the Wayne County Area Chamber of Commerce. This is In Focus Live. We are going to be joined in just a couple moments with our next candidates who are running for treasurer of the county. And so be thinking of questions that you might have, and go ahead and send those in on Facebook. We will take a look at those and work in as many as possible. We'd love to have your participation, and we will be back in just a few moments.
Hi, I'm Eric. On this month's Access to the Arts, we take a visit to the Richmond Art Museum. We hear from the most recent Lively Arts concert, and we get a new artist spotlight with Melinda Wilson.
And I would just like for you to share it with us today.
Access to the Arts, Thursday evenings at 9 on WETV, Channel 20, and available on the Whitewater Community Television YouTube channel.
Hi, I'm John Duke with Wayne County Emergency Management. Spring weather is here. For the most current local updated information, we encourage everyone to sign up for public alerts through Nixle. The easiest way to sign up for Nixle is text 888-777 in the to field of a text message, and then enter your zip code in the body and hit send. For the most current information, whatever the situation may be, we encourage the public to sign up.
The upcoming solar eclipse in Wayne County is a once-in-a-lifetime event, but it's crucial to remember to protect your eyes. Looking directly at the sun during an eclipse can cause irreversible damage, and regular sunglasses won't protect you. Only use glasses with ISO 12312-2 certification. And for younger children who may not fully understand the risks, it's our responsibility to ensure they're safe. Double-check that their glasses are certified to filter out harmful rays. To learn more, visit richmondsolareclipse.com. The April 8th solar eclipse. It's a sight to see, but only with the right protection.
Hi, I'm Sherry Harlan, program host for Let's Talk Together. Join us on our next episode where we will discuss Parkinson's disease and Rocksteady boxing.
Rocksteady's now 850 worldwide affiliates, and what's nice is Reed Health was actually the first hospital to adopt Rocksteady boxing and bring it in. We were the 6th total affiliate, and now there's 850 worldwide.
Join us Thursday, 8 o'clock, Channel 20, WETV.
Welcome back to In Focus Live. I'm Melissa Vance with the Wayne County Area Chamber of Commerce, and I am sitting in for my friend Eric Marsh, who typically hosts In Focus Live on Thursday evenings. Hope that you tune in and enjoy his show every week. But for the next few weeks, we will be here talking all about the primary election with our candidates, and we are joined back in the studio with our candidates for treasurer. We will introduce in just a moment, but before we do, I want to encourage you, if you have questions, to please send those to us on Facebook. You can send those over and we will work those in. I also want to say thank you to Whitewater Community Television, who partners with us on this, as well as Western Wayne News. And there will be 2 editions, one that just came out yesterday and another one comes out next week with some Q&A for the candidates in the Western Wayne News. So be sure to pick up your copy of that and check out those questions and the answers that they have shared, and then hopefully that whets your appetite for the weeks to come. Right now, I am joined with 2 candidates. We have Beth Fields, who is sitting to my right, your left, and Doug Glass. Thank you both for being with us.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
I'm going to give you a chance to just introduce yourselves and tell everyone who you are and why you have chosen to run for this office. So Doug, I will let you start.
My name is Doug Glass, and I'm a Richmond native, graduated from Richmond High School. After graduation, I worked in the family business, which was Van's Quality Meats, and in 1994, I went away to college to Great Lakes Maritime Academy. Great Lakes Maritime Academy is one of the 6 nation's maritime academies that graduate officers to serve in the U.S. Merchant Marine or the U.S. Naval Reserve. I also graduated with a Bachelor of Science. After graduation, I went to work on the Great Lakes cargo ships as an officer in charge of navigation and cargo operations. Worked as an officer for 8 years and was promoted to captain. And given my first command that same year, I was responsible for the safe and efficient operation of a cargo ship that was 120 feet longer than the Titanic. I did that for a few more years, and in 2007, I retired from the Merchant Marine Service because I wanted to spend more time at home raising our son with my wife, Gina. 7 months out of the year on a cargo ship was just getting a bit too difficult to take, you know. My son was 3 and I wanted to play a more active role in that. So I sought employment back in Wayne County and was hired by Wayne County Auditor's Office as a tax deduction clerk, filing tax deductions. While I was there, I wrote an Excel spreadsheet program for the auditor. At the time, they were still doing estimated property tax calculations with the pencil and paper method. So I wrote an Excel spreadsheet program that sped that up considerably, caught the attention of the IT director, and transferred to the IT department then after that, where I've been supporting county local government in the IT department, which includes a time in the city of Richmond as their help desk manager, and also at the Wayne Bank and Trust for a brief time as their network administrator, but for most of the time as an IT specialist in Wayne County's IT department.
Fantastic, thank you. Beth?
My name's Beth Fields. I'll kind of go back like you did, Doug. I started my career in the private sector working for stamp manufacturing in Connersville, Indiana, sales, marketing, sales coordinator. I was drugged to Richmond, kicking and screaming. The CEO wanted to start a corporate office, and he wanted me to be responsible for the build-out of the office, as well as support the corporate staff, or the corporate executive team, and also manage the staff at the corporate office. I did that, so I had a lot of years with Stant. Unfortunately, after about 6 years, we went through an initial public offering, which was quite the task as I supported the executive team. The company just never took off. They restructured, the corporate office closed. I found myself with 2 children and no job, and I was pushed into the best job of my life, which was a stay-at-home mom, and I cared for a couple other families' children, but that gig couldn't last. I had to go back to work. That is when I started work at Wayne County government. The Board of Commissioners hired me. I supported the Board of Commissioners as well as Wayne County Council. I did that for 20 years. Loved the job. I say I had a front row seat to everything Wayne County. I feel like I graduated from the University of Government Management. I love still helping the public. During that time, I lived through COVID, policy changes. I was in charge of ordinances. I was the public records officer. I could go on and on, but the skills I gained in the management of Wayne County government, the enjoyment I received of helping the taxpayers, I still enjoy helping the taxpayers. I do it a little bit less now because now I'm the help community coordinator. The $12.7 million that Wayne County got from ARPA is in a program now called HELP, kind of a slow down, strategic way of the best way to spend that money. We did that by getting input from the community. There was a core group of community leaders, and right now I am managing that program, and the programs are just starting to kick off. We're seeing a lot of exciting things happen in the community, as well as the $12.7 million. As we spend, I have to track it, project it, see what's left, commit it, and report it to the federal government, and that I find to be a very big job, but I am enjoying it.
Great, thank you. So Beth, I'm going to stay with you. Tell us a little bit now, looking into the role of treasurer itself. What are some of those roles, and how do you feel your experience best aligns to that?
First and foremost, not just my experience, but my personality. Helping the taxpayers can be the most rewarding, sometimes the biggest challenge. I've always done that on behalf of the commissioners and council. I enjoy it. I'm proficient at it. I solve their problems. I listen. Sometimes the answer isn't what they want because there are rules and you can't change the rules. But just by listening and caring, people understand government isn't that bad. As far as the skills, because I worked for the commissioners and council, I was involved in their budget planning every year. I have connections with the Department of Local Government, State Board of Accounts, the state associations. I know the auditor's role in collecting taxes. I know the treasurer's role of collecting taxes as well as investing the taxpayers' money. I understand the assessor's role on how that has to be done first, determine what the properties were, send it to the state, figure out what the taxes are. I have such a multi-disciplined knowledge of how the county works. It just all bundles up to offer those skills and that aptitude directly to the taxpayers as the treasurer of Wayne County.
Great, thank you, Beth.
Thank you.
Doug?
Okay.
Tell us about the roles and how they best align to your skills.
Well, as Beth alluded to, the roles of the treasurer, obviously they are the custodian of county tax funds and is responsible for investing those funds in CDs, money market accounts, and bond funds. The treasurer's office also handles government employee garnishments. Unfortunately, it's a fact of the office, though, and it deals with bankruptcies too, in relation to tax collection. You can't collect if somebody's got a bankruptcy. So my qualifications or how I would relate to that position, I go back to my experience in the auditor's office, which is where I started, working with the tax collection software called PVD, filing people's tax deductions there. And then transferring to the IT department, I spent the next 15 years supporting that software and supporting new users to that software in both departments. Actually 3 departments at the time. Even the assessors, I believe, was using PVD for a while. But not only that piece of software, but supporting the treasurer's office, I support every piece of software and every piece of technology used in that office. So, you know, technology is the backbone of every office in Wayne County. Gone are the days of doing it with a pencil and paper. And so, you know, if you don't have some mastery over technology, you're going to let technology roll over the top of you. So I think it's important that elected officials have some proficiency in technology. It's ever evolving in the IT department. We've, since I've been there, we've worked government employees through 5 different operating systems, you know, started with Windows XP, Windows 7, 8, 10, 11, sometimes through entire software package changes in the departments. So technology in the department's constantly changing. There's a new phone system coming into the county at some point, be a VoIP phone system. I'm the PBX administrator for the county, so I think that that gives me an advantage in helping implement that. And in fact, I think the treasurer's office is going to be one of the test beds for this new phone system, if I'm correct. So, another thing I'd like to say is that the position is obviously a position of great responsibility. My work history in the IT department, I was responsible for, and still am, protecting and safeguarding county users' data. When I worked at Wayne Bank and Trust, I was responsible for maintaining their network and their servers. And as a captain in the Merchant Marine, I was responsible for the safe and efficient operation of a $64 million cargo ship. And mishandling that responsibility could mean financial loss, economic or environmental damage, if you think back to the Exxon Valdez, and, you know, worst case scenario, even potential loss of life. So the treasurer's job, obviously, tremendous responsibility, and I feel that I have in my careers a history of handling jobs with a tremendous amount of responsibility.
Great. You're watching In Focus Live here on Whitewater Community Television, and we are talking to the candidates for Wayne County Treasurer. If you have a question, feel free to send that in to our Facebook page, and we will ask that on your behalf. We'd love to hear from you, so consider that. And Doug, you really queued this next question up well, so I'm going to toss it back to you and let you go first on this one. With technology and AI becoming a staple in our way of life, including in the work setting, Are there ways that you foresee harnessing new technologies for this office, either for internal use or for the residents of Wayne County?
In regards to AI, we're just sort of, I think we're on the dawn of AI here, and I think that the implementation of AI through different offices is proceeding at a cautious pace. You know, there's an awful lot of talk in national news about AI, and it seems like our federal government is, it almost looks at times like they're trying to get a handle on it. So I don't foresee AI immediately being implemented, especially, you know, in local government, which is a little smaller. Although, you know, it does have its applications. It's great. It's great helping you write speeches,
Sure.
You know, helping you collect your thoughts. But as far as the actual implementation in the office, I don't know that we're there yet for that. But as I mentioned, technology is ever changing in these offices, and you really have to have a handle on it and some experience with it. Otherwise, you're just not going to manage it effectively. I think another great use for technology is going to be in an outreach to the taxpayers as well, and in getting them aware of some of the programs that exist in the Treasurer's office. That's what I would like to see, specifically the Treasurer's tax payment program. I think there are a lot of citizens that could use that, and if they perhaps don't have aren't aware of it, so maybe we could use technology, social media, to make that a bit more out there and make citizens more aware of that. It's an awful useful plan for people who are struggling to maybe pay their property taxes.
Great, thank you. Beth, with technology, and it could include AI, but doesn't have to, becoming a staple in our way of life, including in the work setting, are there ways you foresee harnessing new technologies for this office?
Well, Doug has the advantage over that question since IT is his background. I admit I have used AI in the job I have right now. I find myself having to draft RFPs, flyers, press releases. I wish I would have known more about AI when I had to build a strategic investment plan. It's very useful. You can't count on it 100%, but it can steer you in the right direction, especially when you're doing something like writing a request for proposal. Admittedly, I don't know how to do that, so I'm not afraid of AI. I'm not afraid of new technologies. I'm familiar in word and deed and contracts of technologies that are used in the auditor's office, in the treasurer's office, in the assessor's office. To say how I would change it or harness it to improve the treasurer's office, I'm really not in a position to speak intelligently about that, except I'm not afraid of it and I embrace it, and I hope I'm not one of the persons that says, oh no, I can't change. I can change and I can learn.
Great, thank you. Beth, tell us about one or two challenges you see the Office of the Treasurer facing and how you would go about addressing them.
One of the challenges all offices in Wayne County face is when there is a job opening, getting the most appropriate person to fill that spot, not only that has the skills to do the job, that can treat the taxpayer respectfully, but also will be a part of the team. Right now the staff is solid. It's a good staff, but someone could leave for any reason. That would be a great challenge. It's not a challenge, but I think the office has to continue, as it has been, to be innovative. Reach out to other county treasurers, reach out to treasurers' state associations. The challenge would be make it easier for taxpayers to pay their taxes. You can't make it less money. You can't give them more time, but you might be able to find a way to do it that's a little bit easier. There may be something very innovative out there that I don't know about and another county does, and it may just fit Wayne County.
Great. Doug, what about you? Are there one or two challenges that you see the office facing now that you would want to address should you be elected?
I think one of the perennial challenges of that office, and perhaps several offices, the auditor's office as well, is communication with taxpayers when they come in or call in and they have a question about their taxes. And often that's not a pleasant conversation. It's usually laden with emotion and tension, and you know, it's very challenging to navigate that conversation and try to defuse the situation. For my part, as an IT technician, I take calls all day long that are encapsulated with that same sense of frustration from users who some piece of technology or some piece of software is preventing them from doing their job. And again, you know, you have to be able to skillfully navigate this, diffuse the situation, and try to come up with some sense of resolution, and which, you know, is sort of a segue to another set of skills there, I think, necessary, and that's problem-solving skills. You've got to be able to drill down to the core of the issue and try and come up with some sort of remediation for whatever it is. Oftentimes, there's nothing you can do. Beth sort of alluded to this, but you know, in the treasurer's office, you're dictated by Indiana code as to what you can actually do. So, you know, sometimes your heart goes out to them. You want to help, but you have to toe the line of what your responsibilities are.
Sure.
So,
great, thank you. We actually just got a question in from a viewer, and we are going to put that up on the screen for you both to take a look at. How would you improve communication between law enforcement, prosecutors, and the courts? This is a critical role for all parties involved, especially when it comes to search warrants and other legal processes. Was this one for the clerk, or was this one for the treasurer? I will let either of you address it if you would like, but I'm guessing that this was maybe intended for the clerk.
that looks an awful lot like a question intended for the clerk to me.
I don't believe by statute the treasurer would have any standing in any of those concerns.
No problem. I apologize about that, and we're fielding things as they're coming in, and we appreciate the guys keeping things going for us. So with that, we are going to give you each a chance to offer some closing remarks and tell our voters why they should consider you when they go to the polls. Beth, I'll let you start.
Thank you. Well, I feel like I will end where I began with my experience in the private sector. I did lead a team. I did have to hire and sadly sometimes fire. So leading an office doesn't scare me. I would go into the treasurer's office with a wealth of knowledge, including the timekeeping for Wayne County government, the policies of Wayne County government, 20 years of knowing if the treasurer needs to change a contract, negotiate a contract, a legal concern. I've done some of it. I've heard it all. I think the transition would be rather seamless. The learning curve would be kind of slim, although I haven't been in the office. I currently am the treasurer for a not-for-profit. I was the financial secretary for a solid waste management district. I was audited by the State Board of Accounts. I had to meet with the Department of Local Government Finance. And again, my heart is to help the taxpayers. The skills I have, the experiences I've had, the knowledge I've gained working with council and commissioners and helping the taxpayers, it's time I do this for the treasurer's office.
Thank you, Beth. Doug, we're going to give you the last couple minutes to tell us why people should consider you when they go to vote.
Well, I'd like to lead off by saying the most important thing is to get out there and vote. You know, despite who you vote for, I mean, whether it's Beth or I, the important thing is to get out there and actually participate in our democracy. You know, it's a right that you have as a citizen of this country, and I just encourage everybody to go out there and exercise that right. To finish up, I would just simply recap what I know about myself from my previous careers as a captain in the Merchant Marine, as an IT professional for the city, Wayne Bank and Trust, and the county. I've got a career of handling responsibility, large responsibilities. That career comes with leading a team. And after 15 years of supporting the Treasurer's Office, I've been involved with most of the processes that go on in that office in some form or another. I've got some real insight into the way the office works and the personnel in the office. Before even throwing my hat into the ring, I had a conversation with the current treasurer and the chief deputy about whether my skill set might make a good fit for this, and I received some positive feedback from them. So I'm looking forward to applying those skills and assuming the duties of the treasurer.
Thank you so much. We appreciate both of you being here with us.
Thank you,
Again,
Melissa.
appreciate you putting your name on the ballot and being willing to serve our community. And we encourage all of you to go out and vote when the time comes, just as Doug just mentioned. I do want to remind you that the next several weeks we have additional forums coming up. They are on the screen for you. April 4th, 11th, 18th, and then of course election night live May 7th. And in the meantime, if you have questions, you can send those over to Whitewater Community Television at any time on their Facebook page. Thank you so much for Whitewater Community Television, Western Wayne News, and the Wayne County Area Chamber of Commerce. We appreciate being with you, and we'll see you again next time.